SAP Analytics Cloud houses a lot of content, stories, reports, models, you name it. This content has to be organized in some way, and this is done with SAC's own file structure. When you are signed in to SAP Analytics Cloud, to navigate to your Files section, click on the navigation bar and find the Files link. In here, we're going to talk about how files and folders are structured in SAC. First, draw your attention to the top toolbar, and up here you will always be able to find a file path, or breadcrumbs indicating where in the file structure you are. I first want to draw your attention to My Files. This will often be the root or the first folder that you will be in when you go to the Files section of SAP Analytics Cloud. My Files is where you can organize your own private content. In your My Files, you can create your own working folders where you can create work in progress models and stories, and anything that you create in here is tied to your username. Users can still share this private content with other users and teams for collaboration purposes. However, when something like a story or a model becomes more official, it should be moved to the public folder space. In the public folder space, your folder structure can be established as your organization sees fit. Many organizations will organize content by departments or job roles, and then will break objects down into folders for models and folders for stories. There is no one way to organize content in SAP Analytics Cloud though, and the ultimate structure of folders in the public space will be up to your organization. Also worth noting, depending on your system access, you may see folders housing data actions and multi-actions in the public folder space. These, if you're curious, are more advanced objects in SAC that allow for executing logic-driven planning processes, and those objects are stored in these folders. Very important to note that what is displayed in the public folder for any given user will depend on what content, either folders or individual objects themselves, is shared with that user. Content can be shared with individual users or shared with teams that those users belong in. For details on sharing, see the video on sharing files and folders in the collaboration and sharing lesson. Finally, it's important to note that in order for content to be migrated between multiple SAP Analytics Cloud tenants, for example, if you need to push content from a development tenant to a production tenant, that content must exist in the public folder space. Private content, which again is content that lives in an individual user's My Files section, cannot be selected in the migration screens to push from one SAC tenant to another.